Three reasons why fix and flipping is dead here in Atlanta. Number one, it just has been in a downward trajectory for many, many years. And there's some people that are in denial about that. And there's some people that are winning, but they're more than likely not beginners or intermediates. They're experts. They have a whole situation protecting them from all of the atrocities in the fix and flip market. I'll give you a quick example of what that looks like. Many years ago, I was involved in a fix and flip in 2017 where I purchased a property for $150,000, and this was about a mile away from the now Truist Stadium, or the Brave Stadium, Truist Park. And back then, $150,000. This was already a colonial style brick front property, gorgeous. Gots. Getting back to my Chicago days. It had 2-lane driveway, and it was mostly cosmetic. We spent about 25 grand, and we were able to sell it for 225. Now, 225 minus 150, you're just saying, oh man, that's $75,000. But what you're not considering is some surprises that occurred where that 25 grand anticipated budget actually shot up a little bit. And we also had the agents to take care of. And we also had lender fees. We also had interest payments for about 6 months. We also ended up wanting to stage the property itself. So at the end of the day, because I had a partner in this, guess how much we walked away with for 6 months of work? Each of us walked away with $8,000. I just sit with that for a second. We could have made more money in McDonald's working, flipping burgers or flipping fries than fix and flip properties. So now imagine where we're at now. We're at a minimum for fix and flip properties of like $250,000 to $300,000. You are creating an immense risk for yourself because now the interest payments are a whole lot bigger. And interest for properties like that are easily between 11 to 14% now, even higher, in some cases 16. Then you also got points, which for those that don't know about these hard money lenders, they charge anywhere between 1.5 to 4 points. What does points mean? It's basically a percentage on the purchase price, or the loaned amount rather. So if you bought a property for $200,000 and let's say it was 2 points, that's $4,000 just coming out of your pocket at the closing table when you're buying it. So you're already starting off with a negative. So you got that to contend with. You also have, in some cases, these hard money lenders require you to have a general contractor with a whole license, and GCs don't work for cheap now. So you have to find a hard money lender that also will be okay with having a non-licensed person. Hopefully it is cosmetic and no surprises occur along the project. Otherwise, you're in a very dangerous position. And you also got to make room for other things like the agents, staging. That actually, if I had known that before, staging was one of those things that I regret not doing immediately when we listed it. So we ended up just sitting on market for 3 months. But aside from just the numbers of it all, which I just gave a high level on, like there also is a need for a team. And not everybody is equipped, especially beginners or intermediates, to have a constant turnover, ready to go subcontractor, contractor team when somebody drops the ball somewhere. Like it's almost having a specific, like every week I got to go to a networking event to get referrals to contractors type situation. And not everybody has time for that. You also have to deal with finding a needle in a haystack. So everybody and their mama thinks they're a wholesaler now and they know what they're doing, but they're actually just getting properties under contract for as fast as they could. Wholesalers, for those who don't know, are middlemen or middle women, let's not discriminate, that find properties, they lock them up for as cheap as they can, but sometimes these sellers are hardballs. Like they got a property that's it was maybe worth $150,000, but they want $400,000. Well, guess what? If a wholesaler meets up with them and spent all this time trying to talk with them for weeks or months, and they get finally a meeting in person, they're going to go ahead and lock it down at whatever price, even if it is just $398,000, just $2,000 off what the seller wants, because they're hoping and wishing upon a star that somebody at the end of the table is going to want to pay $399,000, right? Make at least $1,000 in the middle of it, or in some cases, there's some people that mark it up to $450, and this is kind of their model. They don't necessarily always think about the fix and flipper and what the numbers they have to, because I mean, at the end of the day, they have to do it themselves. They should, but there are some people that just don't know what they're doing. They're coming into this and being wishful upon a star, like, oh yeah, this property in this area will do this and X, Y, and Z, without actually looking at the days on market of the property, the absorption rate, how much realistically are renovations, not just what the baseline is, like adding 30 to 50% for surprises. And so you got all these things working against you. You got the numbers, the team, and the quantity of deals. Now, sure, if you are an expert, you could address all these things. You have a network that could find you those deals for you, or you could sift through them quickly because you could see if a deal's garbage or not in 30 seconds. You're an expert. You have a team. Of course, you have a backlog of people in your network. Like, for example, I've been blessed with about 4,000 people in my phone that I could hit up. I have people in all sorts of different industries, not only real estate. And then lastly, the number side. So this is probably where the most surprises could occur. And I just got off the phone with my good friend, and he was saying, I was telling him about this tiny house that I built. And looking back at it, I probably wouldn't have done it if I knew everything that was took place during developing it. But he said, yeah, but you learned out of it. And I realized, like, that brought me back to reality. Like, man, that experience alone, most people don't even understand where to start. But I knew what to do. I largely didn't actually got money out of it by selling the property, even though the tiny house wasn't completely finished. And so I got out of it unscathed. And that experience is valuable. It's like going into a business and the business loses, but now you know what to do in your next business, right? That's invaluable. There's not a fixed amount that you could put that number on. Like, learning a business lesson is just inherently invaluable. So just think about these things when you're thinking about fix and flips. Again, if you're going to do it, at least partner with somebody that knows what they're doing, an expert. For us, we operate a real estate fund where you don't even have to do any work, and you probably make about the same money as you starting out as a beginner anyways, but you get to learn alongside us by joining us at properties and stuff like this. So if you want more details on how to get with us in the fund, or if you just need help on the other side of the equation, like maybe you want to be able to do stuff on your own and get some coaching, so you aren't going into a downward trajectory on your first deal, we'll be glad to do that. But yeah, I wanted to share this with you because I see way too many people just getting overly ambitious, overly optimistic, and I'm here to smash those dreams. No. No, I'm just here to be realistic about what's going on in the market. And, there are some areas where the pricing is going down, and pricing is a big factor for reducing risk. So keep that in mind, that there may be opportunities for buying soon, but do your research and keep on being awesome. And I will talk to you in the next video.